We will begin with opening statements. And we will begin with Michael Cannon for the opening statement.
Well, thank you, and good afternoon. I'm Mike Cannon. I'm one of your choices for council in District 4. I've been a homeowner and a taxpayer here in Framingham since I was 29. And as I speak with families, veterans, and seniors throughout our community, I find far too many of them are having difficulty with their ever-rising water bills and tax bills. And that upsets me as a business owner, as someone involved in our community, because I know we can do better for them. And my experience in our community goes beyond currently serving on the Finance Committee or previously serving on the Capital Budget Committee or on town meeting. It's community building projects like being part of the construction of Framingham's newest park, finally under construction, or being part of a team to capitalize on our location along the route of the Boston Marathon to raise badly needed funds for Framingham charities. Nearly every major issue facing Framingham will touch District 4. The stakes are high. We need qualified counselors throughout our community who are equipped to protect our neighborhoods, to have to fight for our neighborhoods, and who have a proven track record of getting things done. And I'm Mike Cannon, and I ask to earn your vote on November 7th.
Thank you. Ms. Shepherd.
Thank you very much for tuning in, for being here, for hosting this forum. My name is Amanda Shepherd, and I'm running for City Council in District 4. I'm a Framingham native. This is my hometown, and I've lived in our District 4 for over 21 combined years. I understand Framingham, and I love our district, and I love Framingham. I went to UMass Amherst, where I got a degree in chemistry, and then, thanks, go UMass, go Minutemen, right on. And then I left because there were 500 jobs, biotech jobs in the San Francisco Bay Area after graduation and only 100 in Boston. Actually, it's really changed now, and there's a lot of biotech jobs in Boston now. It's actually great to be back, and I just really appreciate the opportunity. I'm in the finals because of your vote and getting out and voting for me. Thank you so much.
We will start with two questions that will require only a show of hands in response. This question was submitted by a member of the League of Women Voters. Municipal energy managers in Massachusetts have been shown to save their communities money by spearheading energy-related projects. Please raise your hand if you support the City of Framingham hiring an energy manager. Thank you. One more raise of hands question. This question was submitted by the Metro West Daily News. Framingham's new charter does not prohibit city councilors from holding dual roles in city government, provided they don't receive additional compensation. Do you think councilors should be allowed to serve on other city boards, commissions, or committees? Please raise your hand if you agree they should be free to do so. That was easy. All right, now on to the questions requiring individual responses. And once again, each candidate will have 1 minute to respond. This question was submitted by a resident. Name one aspect of town government that you would like to see improve when the new mayor and city council take office. And we will begin with Ms. Shepherd.
Thank you very much. So I want Framingham to be run more like a business. And then I said that first before I realized that we've heard that also. What do I mean by that? We could have an org chart so that we understand the reporting structure and the employees. We could have a discretionary budget for office supplies so the paperwork is streamlined and it's not as wasteful and time-consuming. The other thing that I would like to advocate strongly for, and what large corporations do for their employees, is they provide extensive opportunities for professional development. We have top-notch services here, and I want to really raise the expectations even more and to provide opportunities for us to have opinion leaders and great talent. Thanks.
Mr. Cannon.
Well, thank you. In addition to the broad strokes like the major financial decisions that we'll need to make in the coming years and the little details like both of the clocks here being wrong, I want us to be a municipality that is more customer focused. I think we lose sight of that sometimes. So often in the course of my municipal experience, I run into people that are just trying to get something simple done. Those of us that work in the community as part of our town organization and are involved in what we do in this building know where to go and what to do, and oh, that crosswalk, this is who you need to talk to. It's not easy for someone who's looking to do that without kind of knowing somebody, and that's not the way it should be. Not that you need to be an insider, but we need to be more customer focused. Our job, I've always looked at it in business. When I've had people working for me, my job was not as the boss. It's been really more of as a coach, making it as easy as possible for my people to succeed. As a government in Framingham, it's our job and our responsibility to make it as easy as possible for our citizens, our residents, to focus on what's important to them.
Thank you. We will now proceed to the second question. This question was submitted by members of the League of Women Voters. What do you believe to be the most important issue facing your district, and how do you think it should be addressed? And we will begin with Ms. Shepherd.
Thank you very much. So what I hear, of course, taxes and schools are very important, but the one issue for District 4 specifically that I'm passionately advocating for is improved roads. We absolutely have crumbling sidewalks in certain locations and potholes. It is unsafe to walk. It is unsafe to ride a bicycle. And we need, in addition to addressing just the fixing of the roads, we also have to address traffic on a much larger scale and a bigger picture. We need to reduce cars, to reduce traffic. We need to investigate other forms of transportation, such as increasing bus service as well as expanding rail. We need to find solutions that are going to work to eliminate cars, reduce cars. We still like cars. A little.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Cannon.
Well, thank you. It's important to remember that there's not just one critical issue. There are multiple issues of equal importance. So it's important that across our community, we're electing counselors that are qualified with a broad depth of knowledge and a foundation of experience throughout our community in a number of different ways, because this first council has a lot of work to do ahead of us. The stakes are quite high. And after the transition of government, itself its own considerable challenge, we need to really look at our unsustainable spending. We're just on a path that we can't continue financially. And the good news is, once we make a course correction, reasonable, common sense decisions will be on a much better path of a sustainable financial outlook, and still be able to support our schools, still be able to support strong public services, and not run the risk, the path that we're on, of taxing our seniors out of our homes. So there are a number of crucial issues for us to conquer together.
We now go to the third question. And if in the process I forget anybody, please let me know. This question was submitted by members of the League of Women Voters. If elected to the City Council, you will be asked to evaluate dozens of mayoral appointments. Describe the criteria you will use to determine whether appointees are suitable for the positions for which they are picked. Ms. Shepherd.
Thank you. When we talk about mayoral appointments, and the first thing I think of is a smooth transition. So I think that there's a balance, of course. We wanted the city charter, we wanted new energy, but I imagine that really it's a priority that we have a smooth transition. So that's one aspect. But for me, I'm a political newcomer, so I don't have any biases or attachments at all. And I'm also analytical and fair. And I have been listening to stories. I've been learning about Framingham through hearing what people are telling me. And I'm keeping track of everything. And in any instance where I have a concern, I'm going to bring it up. I am the voice of this community to an extent. And I will advocate otherwise for normal employment conditions, talent, skills, previous experience, et cetera, like a business.
Thank you. Mr. Cannon.
Well, I will echo a lot of the comments that I've heard so far on this. It's important that we are bringing people into the community, into the dialogue within Town Hall, City Hall, I'm still going to call it Town Hall for a very long time, I think, that have a track record of getting things done in our community, that have a set of success and a track record of doing things that align with the vision that the mayor has, that the council has. And in addition to the things that have been said so far, I think it's important that we're reaching out to people that don't come equipped with their own personal agenda. That's not their mission. You know, we have a vision where we want to take this community, and it's important that everyone who serves in an appointed role, no matter where it is in the municipal organization, is serving the community, not just their own agenda. It shouldn't be a political thing. It's about, like someone said, this place that we all call home, and how can we make it better?
Thank you. We now come to the last question from the League. This question was submitted through the Callahan Center. As a member of the City Council, what priorities would you encourage the mayor to pursue to improve the quality of life for seniors and help them afford to stay in their homes? And we will begin with Mr. Cannon.
Mr. Cannon?
Mr. Cannon.
Well, thank you. You know, the Callahan Center does a phenomenal job, and there are areas of our government that we're not giving the resources that we really should, and I believe the Callahan Center is one of them. The fact that they accomplish what they do with such a limited pool of resources is extraordinary. There are throughout the community and throughout the Commonwealth a number of programs to help seniors, but my goodness, as a government, no matter the level, we don't make it easy to find them. So it gets back to that level of customer service that I talked about initially. We need to make it easier for seniors to navigate these programs. And in terms of being able to stay in their homes, it comes back to asking ourselves the financial questions of what are we going to do to make sure that we're no longer on this unsustainable path. I don't like to hear when I'm walking around the neighborhood people that have been stewards of our community for generations who are now finding it hard to pay their taxes. We have to do better, and I know we can.
Ms. Shepherd.
Thank you. When we talk about seniors, the number one thing that we can do to help seniors is not raise their taxes. They are on a fixed income. They can't afford it. I have literally had conversations with constituents of District 4 who choose between heating their house and feeding themselves. That is unacceptable. What I want to say is we can help by bundling energy. So what do I mean by that? We buy it, we're big, then we sell it at a lower rate. I see someone shaking their head. It's open for discussion, all right? Anything we can do to make energy more affordable will be helpful. Anything we can do to increase the community engagement, smiling, saying hello, also the Callahan Center, dial a ride. We should and we will continue to support our seniors.
Thank you all. We will now turn this over to Ann Brennan, editor of the Metro West Daily News.
Several candidates who spent time knocking on doors tell us that the Framingham residents are concerned about, overcrowding in schools. Do you agree this is a problem? And if so, how do you plan to address it?
In the year 2000, we had about just under 1,800 students in our high school. We graduated almost 500 more than that in June, about 515. So we have added about an entire grade to our high school in the last, well, gosh, 17 years. 2000 doesn't seem that long ago. So the numbers indicate that we've got this boom that we're not prepared for. And I echo that the levels of our schools, particularly on the elementary and middle school level, are quite concerning to me, but I'm buoyed by the confidence of a new superintendent and a school committee that will have district representation. But I mentioned the numbers, the population numbers to you, because when there is talk of building more apartments in our community, I want the first question you ask to be, well, what are we going to do? What is the plan for our schools? Because no matter what happens, apartments will bring students into our schools, and the most important thing is that we have a plan for that, and right now we don't. So the mayor, the city council, and the school committee need to work very, very carefully together on day one.
Ms. Shepherd?
Thank you. So when we ask, are our schools overcrowded? The answer is yes. The high school, yes. So we're listening. And what are we going to do? Well, one thing that's been talked about is a brand new school. Outside of Fuller even, the idea is that federal money will build a brand new beautiful school. And I support that, but don't put it onto the seniors for the taxes. Figure something else out. If that is what people want, I'm fine with that. But here's the thing. Our seniors already paid for a bunch of schools that are not being used as schools. I mean, Farley, I understand that those are offices. I understand there's junk in there. So I want to really advocate for considering, in addition to the single-room school model of Bob Tremblay, also maybe we can move some of those administrative and non-student places to a commercial building that's abandoned in downtown Framingham, for example, and then make our schools available for our students.
Revitalizing downtown appears to be a top priority for Framingham voters. What is your vision of a revitalized downtown? And how would you make that vision a reality? What roles should each segment, including residents, small business, large corporations, and social service agencies, play in revitalizing downtown? Mr. Cannon?
Yeah, giving people fun, creative, exciting reasons to spend time downtown, to spend money downtown, will be what turns downtown around, and it really revolves so much around small business. We as a community have not done a great job nurturing small business. You know, we've got these large corporate entities in town that are of critical importance to us, but sometimes that distracts us from the businesses that create jobs in our local economy and that create vibrant neighborhoods for us to enjoy. So I'm optimistic now going forward about downtown, because we'll, for the first time, have leadership actually living in that area, representing that area, that has a voice in our government. We also need some creativity down there. Some other folks have said it very well. Downtown Renaissance is doing great things. I'm going to give you a little homework assignment. Some of our neighboring communities have done some really creative things that I think we can tweak for Framingham and downtown. Ashland has this thing called the Corner Spot. They took this unused parcel and turned it into something cool that I'll ask you to read about, and just think of some of those creative ways we can turn around downtown.
Ms.
And
Shepherd?
I like a lot of what I've heard just now, and I'll take it from there. How can we be creative? Let's look at the intersection of Route 126 and Route 135. That is 4 lanes at a right angle with another 4 lanes. I know we talk about the trains historically. That's not really the issue. It's about, you're still going to have this unhospitable to pedestrian engagement as long as the roads are like that. So honestly, if we're going to get creative, why not turn the whole thing into a plaza? I came up with this morning, by the way. Put the roads underground. Put the train station above ground. And you can create a transit center there. This is, how far in the future did we want to go? Everything we heard just now, I like. So this is the next level. You can create a social heart. Actually, I would advocate for multiple social hearts in different parts of downtown Framingham, where now you are attracting people to the community. It's all about getting people involved. It's giving them a reason to go down there. You can do it cheap at first. You can have a big vision overall. If someone else is paying for it, you would say yes. All right, don't worry about the money. If we can do this, it'll be awesome.
Retail marijuana businesses are set to begin operating in Massachusetts as early as July 2018, and cities and towns across the state are evaluating where and when pot shops should be allowed to do business within their borders. In Framingham, the Route 9 corridor has been suggested as one area where pot shops should be free to open. Would you support limiting the number of retail marijuana establishments in the community or where they can do business? If so, what do you think is the right number and where should they be located? Mr. Cannon?
This is actually a question that kind of surprised me because in traveling around my district, I did not hear a lot about this. But the law allows us to take our existing medical marijuana facilities, dispensaries, and provide them a license to also sell recreational retail marijuana. I would start there. We just don't know what the market is going to be. Framingham has had a tremendous voice in the crafting of this legislation. District 4 resident Jim Pillsbury has been working hard for a long time on this. So I think we will be able to test the market by limiting the retail presence of recreational marijuana to the medical facilities at first, getting a real sense of what the demand is. We're going to learn from this. This is new for everybody. We'll be able to respect the will of the voter, which we should always do, but also address the concerns that some families and residents have brought up.
What I want to say about cannabis is that it is a miracle plant. It is the way to battle the opioid crisis. It is a means for people to be able to manage their pain. Medicinal marijuana is useful for headaches, for aches and pains in the body. It's useful for combating nausea and increasing appetite, which is especially valuable for people who are suffering the results of cancer treatment. There's a lot to like about cannabis, and I want to thank Framingham, and especially our District 4, for voting more than 10 percentage points yes for medicinal marijuana in our community. We want it. We are so grateful for the opportunity to have it. Along the Route 9 corridor, I would not advocate for any restriction, and our current format of government for introducing medical marijuana businesses is great the way it is. Let's keep it.
Thank you very much. That concludes this part of our debates, and we'll take a 10-minute break.